Charming worms looks like this. It is a recognized competitive sport in the UK and East Texas. Yeah, you heard that right. People go head-to-head, vying for the title of the ultimate worm charmer. It's a serious business, my friend. Large festivals of worm charming happen every year. You should probably visit the one in Florida. More on that later. And the human who has charmed the most worms within 30 minutes was Sophie Smith, a 10-year-old who scored mind-boggling 567 worms during Britain's World Worm Charming Championship in 2009. Hats off to you, Sophie. So, worm charming, huh? Well, picture this, a person rhythmically stomping their feet, creating vibrations that seem to summon earthworms from the depths of the soil. It may sound like a folklore scene, but worm charming is a genuine practice that has captivated our collective imagination. Scientists are yet to come to a consensus on why worm charming works. One group from Vanderbilt University claimed that the worms surface because the vibrations are similar to those produced by digging moles. And you know what moles love? Yep, you guessed it. Earthworms, sneaky little critters. Another group believes in the rain dance explanation. They think that worm charming imitates the vibrations caused by rainfall, triggering earthworms to surface in anticipation of wet conditions. So check this out. Earthworms are super touchy creatures. They can sense vibrations and movements in the soil. And get this, when they feel vibrations that are similar to raindrops hitting the ground, they're like, yo, gotta get to the surface or I'll drown. Or maybe they think it's a mole chasing them. Who knows? We don't have all the deets on how exactly they sense these vibrations. But scientists think they have these sensory cells all along their bodies that can pick up on vibrations. These cells send signals to their nervous system, and that's what makes them wiggle their way up to the surface. Now, brace yourself for the different names and methods. We've got worm grunting, which typically involves driving a wooden stake called a stob into the ground and using a rooping iron to rub it. It's like a wormy symphony, except instead of violins, we've got stakes and irons. And then there's worm fiddling, where a wooden stake comes into play once again, but this time a dulled saw is dragged along its top. It's like playing a strange worm-attracting instrument. Now here's where things get musical. In certain places, worm charmers rock out with musical instruments like drums, tambourines, or rattles. But wait, there's more. The techniques for worm charming are as diverse as the worms themselves. Some people sprinkle water, tea, mustard water, or even beer on the turf. Others go for the classic method of twanging the ground with a trusty garden fork. And you won't believe this, there are even organized competitions where detergents and mechanical diggers have been banned. They're keeping it real, folks. Now here's the thing, these techniques have been passed down through generations and are part of folk traditions. But just a heads up, their effectiveness can vary depending on stuff like the type of soil, the species of worms, and other environmental factors. So, it's not a guaranteed worm party, but it's worth a shot, right? But here's a fascinating tidbit. Worm charming isn't just a human thing. Animals get in on the action too, especially birds. They've got their own version of worm charming, tapping their feet on the ground to generate vibrations. It's like they're dancing their way to a wormy feast. Even the wood turtle has some moves. It stomps its feet to lure worms to the surface, making for an easy lunch. Who knew animals had their own worm charming party going on? When it comes to worm charming, as long as you do it responsibly and not too much, it doesn't really mess up the environment that much. But there are a few things you should keep in mind. If you want to do it in a way that's good for the environment, it's important to do worm charming in a sustainable way. That means not collecting more worms than you actually need and not messing up the soil too much. You want to leave enough worms in the ground so that everything stays balanced and the soil stays healthy. Speaking of soil, if you mess it up too much by digging or shaking it too hard, it can cause problems. The soil won't hold on to moisture as well, plants won't grow as easily, and the good bacteria and stuff in the soil won't be happy. So try to do worm charming in moderation and be gentle with the soil so it doesn't get messed up too bad. Before moving forward to some less sustainable practices, I'm curious, do you know any other creative ways to get worms? Let me know in the comments and like this video. Now let's talk about some not so great ways people try to charm worms. Some folks use machines that vibrate the ground, others use really bad chemicals, and that's just not cool. And get this, there's a really dumb and dangerous way some people found on the internet. They connect a car battery to the ground to scare the worms out before they get electrocuted. Not only does that kill a bunch of worms and other animals, but it can also seriously hurt or even kill the people who do that. Definitely not a good idea. Sometimes, worm charming can be more than just a hobby if you're into it. There are a few ways you can actually make a living or just do it as part of your job. First, the bait suppliers. You know, those worms you use for fishing. Then there's vermicomposting. Red worms are used to break down organic waste and make really good compost. Then this compost is sold to gardeners and farmers, and the red worms should be extracted before packing it up. Lastly, there are educational and entertainment gigs. Worm charmers can do demonstrations or workshops. These professionals teach people about earthworms, soil, and the environment. They might use worm charming as a way to show how it works or get people involved. All right, listen up. Worm charming competitions are a big deal in certain parts of the world, and they're all about having a blast while getting those worms to come out and play. Now, there are some serious rules when it comes to worm charming. The International Federation of Charming Worms and Allied Pastimes, IFCOAP, has laid down the law. Competitors have to operate within a 3 by 3 meter plot, only use vibrations or music to attract worms, no digging or drugs allowed, and they must return all the worms to the ground once the birds have gone to roost. We can't have a worm buffet for the birds now, can we? There are a couple of super popular competitions you should know about. First off, we've got the World Worm Charming Championships. It's held every year in this cool village called Blackawton in Devon, England. People from all over the globe show up for this epic event. The goal is simple. Teams or individuals have 30 minutes to charm as many worms as they can out of a specific area. The judges count those wriggly fellas, and the one with the most worms is crowned the winner. It's like the Olympics of worm charming. Now let's talk about the U.S. In Sopchoppy, a town in Florida, they throw the International Festival of Worm Charming. It's the biggest worm charming event in the country, and it's a total hit. This festival is all about celebrating the art and skill of worm charming. People from the region and beyond come together to be part of the action. But wait! There's more. The festival isn't just about the competition. They've got live music, arts and crafts vendors, yummy food stalls, and games to keep everyone entertained. It's all about creating a festive and family-friendly vibe where everyone can have a blast. These competitions are not only about showing off how skilled and creative people can be with worm charming, but they're also about having a good time and bringing the community together. It's all about fun, entertainment, and maybe even learning a thing or two. People of all ages come together to enjoy this one-of-a-kind and lighthearted competition. Worm charming has some fascinating scientific implications. Here's the scoop. Scientists study how earthworms react to vibrations and disruptions caused by worm charming. It helps us understand their behavior, movement, and their role in the soil ecosystem. It's like peeking into their world. Earthworms are soil heroes, keeping it healthy and fertile. Responsible worm charming helps track their populations and informs sustainable farming practices. The worms themselves spill the secrets. Worm charming is an interactive way to teach about soil ecosystems, biodiversity, and environmental care. It gets people, especially kids, excited about nature and shows the vital role of earthworms. They're the real superheroes. Earthworms have incredible sensing abilities, detecting soil vibrations like nobody's business. Studying them inspires cool bio-inspired technologies like earthquake detection or environmental sensing. It's nature's playbook. Though worm charming isn't heavily researched, studying earthworm behavior and their impact on the environment has significant implications in ecology, agriculture, biomimicry, and cultural anthropology. Worm charming is more than fun. It's science in action. So, my friend, the world of worm charming, worm grunting, and worm fiddling is an eccentric, wiggly adventure. It's a mix of skill, tradition, and pure entertainment. Who knew that worms could be such a fascinating and competitive subject? Let this journey inspire us to delve deeper into the mysteries of our environment, embrace sustainable practices, and cultivate a sense of wonder and respect for all living creatures. Together, we can make a positive impact, nurturing the delicate balance of our planet and ensuring a brighter future for generations to come.